the first time since the initial release of cursed items in Phasmophobia, a new cursed item has been added. The Monkey Paw, an item that grants players 3 to 5 wishes depending on the score multiplier. This is a really cool addition to the game, and has the potential to be one of the most useful cursed items. There's just one catch. The devs didn't actually tell us what the wishes do, or even what they are. They did say they'd reveal all the wishes and their effects 2 weeks after the update, but let's be honest, that's a long time and we're all impatient. So it's up to the players to search Sunny Meadows to figure out what the wishes are, and to test them using trial and error. If you're watching this video, it's because you want to skip the hard part and just figure out what the thing does, and hey, I can't blame you. Before I get started, however, I should note that since this is being recorded a week after the update was released, there's a good chance that I might miss some details about how the wishes work. Once the full details about the Monkey Paw have been revealed, I'll add anything I missed to the description. Also, it is advised that you at least try to figure some of this out for yourself. Part of what makes the Monkey Paw so fun is that no information was provided to us as players, leaving us to figure it out for ourselves in the most dangerous way possible. But if that doesn't sound fun to you, or you're stumped on figuring out what exactly the Monkey Paw does, then you've come to the right place. Before we delve into the wishes, here's a quick overview of where you can find the Monkey Paw on each map. In this glass cupboard at the kitchen on Tanglewood, on the bed thing in the twins' room on Edgefield, on this desk in the bedroom on the right side of the hall on Ridgeview, in this cupboard by the bathroom on Willow Street, on a desk in the bottom right bedroom on Grafton, on a chest next to the crib in the master bedroom on Bleasdale, on this workbench on Woodwind, on this chair on the dock on Maple Lodge, on this box at the entrance of the high school, on this table directly to the left of the entrance of the prison, and lastly, at the foot of the cross at the chapel on Sunny Meadow. Now for the main thing we're here to figure out. What are we even wishing for? Well, by searching around Sunny Meadows, we can find 14 different tags, each of which gives us a different wish, with 8 of these wishes being recorded in the journal. Those wishes are to trap the ghost in its room, for the ghost to do an activity, to be sane, to be safe, to leave, to see the ghost, to have knowledge, to revive a dead teammate, and to change the weather. You can also wish for anything, which is exactly what it sounds like. It just does a random wish. So unless you're screwing around with your friends, using this wish is ill-advised. Aside from that, the other wishes mostly sound pretty self-explanatory, so what's so complicated here? Well, as I said earlier, each wish comes with an unidentified cost, and it's important to understand what they are, since pretty much all of them will screw you over if you don't know what you're doing. So let's go over them one by one. So I might have lied a bit about how all the wishes have unidentified costs. The 5 wishes pertaining to the weather all have seemingly no negative impact on your game, which makes sense, since changing the weather has seemingly no positive impact either. These wishes aren't mentioned in the journal, and for good reason. It's really only useful for figuring out the secret message in the lobby, since you need certain weather conditions in order to figure out what the letter each symbol represents. Besides that, changing the weather can also be helpful if you encounter a Hantu at Maple Lodge, so that's something, I guess? Other than that, there's no reason to use this, as it's effectively a waste of a wish. This wish effectively acts as a mobile summoning circle. You wish to see the ghost, it holds still for 5 seconds, and proceeds to hunt you down. The added downside, however, is that you become blind, so be sure that you know where you're going for a hiding spot, because you're going to have one hell of a time finding it. Speaking of, this is easily the most vague of all the wishes, and at first glance seems pretty useless. The immediate first thing that will happen upon wishing to be safe is the lights in the room you're in will shatter, rendering them unusable. Quite the opposite of being safe. Despite this wish destroying your source of light and increasing sanity drain in the process, the benefits are pretty noticeable. Specifically, hiding places in the room that were originally blocked off, such as closets and lockers, become open and available to use. This gives the wish a risk versus reward factor. You run the risk of lowering your sanity faster, resulting in more hunts, in exchange for more hiding spots during those hunts. Definitely not the most helpful wish on amateur or intermediate, but if you've ever played Nightmare Mode, you know just how useful this can be. This wish is exactly what it sounds like. Once you wish for the ghost to be trapped, the door to its room will be locked shut for 1 minute. So yes, the ghost is trapped, but you also can't go into the room, unless you want to be locked in a room with an angry ghost that you've just forced into timeout. It's also worth noting that you'll be locked in whatever room you're in too, although this mechanic seems somewhat finicky in different parts of different maps. Once that minute has passed, the door will unlock and a cursed hunt will begin. Of course, the cursed hunt can be avoided if you and your teammates manage to get out before the time is up, but that doesn't change the fact that any information you get about the ghost can only come from the security cameras in the van, and at that point, there's no real reason to trap the ghost to begin with, unless you're convinced it's going to try and change rooms or something. The real benefit to using this wish is that since the ghost room is locked, it becomes very easy to identify where the ghost is, although you shouldn't need me to tell you that there are much better alternatives. This is without a doubt the most basic wish. Every time you wish for sanity, the sanity of your entire team will be set to 50. If your sanity was under 50 prior to the wish, it's good. If it was over 50, then it's bad. There's really not much else I can say. This is one of the most powerful wishes, as it grants you the ability to escape a hunt. The cost for such power is being slowed to a snail's pace for a few seconds. Basically, you need to time this wish perfectly so that you can escape while also not getting caught by the ghost. Now is also a good time for me to mention that each wish can only be used once, so be sure not to wish for anything prematurely. It's hard to believe that a wish as simple as requesting ghost activity would be dangerous. That might be true if this wish caused the ghost to do only one activity, like throwing something. What actually happens is a series of ghost interactions for 2 minutes, with the entrance being locked for the whole time. As if that wasn't bad enough, this also causes the breaker to overload, permanently shutting off the lights for the rest of the mission. This wish will absolutely demolish your sanity, and unless you're looking for EMF 5 or trying to take pictures, using this wish is a terrible idea. As bad as this wish sounds, however, there's still one wish that's even more deadly. Considering that the main objective of every mission is to determine the ghost type, it's not surprising that the one wish that directly helps you towards that goal is also the one that comes with the most risk. Upon wishing for knowledge, one piece of evidence will be crossed out in the journal. In exchange, you must survive a cursed hunt while blind and deafened. And even after the hunt is over, you still need to play the rest of the mission with those effects. As useful as eliminating a piece of evidence is, the cost makes it not worth using. In theory, it's most useful at the start of the game, when you can reduce the potential evidence from 7 to 6. But as already stated, it's not worth putting up with the side effects for the rest of the mission. It really shines as a last-ditch effort to find evidence at the end of the match after you've completely given up, at which point it might cross off evidence you already know wasn't a factor. Thankfully, only the person making the wish is blinded and deafened, but they're also the only one who gets the information crossed off. So you better hope they don't die during that cursed hunt before they can relay the information to the rest of the team. Otherwise, you're working with one less wish and, more importantly, one less teammate. If knowledge is the most dangerous wish, then life is without a doubt the riskiest. As I'm sure you've already figured out, this wish will revive a dead teammate, just like the tarot cards. Unlike the tarot cards, however, this can only be done after a teammate has died, so it can't block a death before it occurs. And thankfully, there's no random BS when it comes to reviving your teammate. They are always guaranteed to be revived upon using this wish. There is a good chance that you'll end up dying in the process, however, effectively trading your life for your teammates. It's not a certain death, so there is the chance that you face no repercussions, but the risk is absolutely still there. Whether or not you think the risk is worth the reward is up for you to decide. And that's more or less it, or at least everything I've found so far. The monkey paw is definitely the most unique cursed item, especially since its effectiveness is almost entirely determined by how the player uses it. Like I said at the start of the video, there might be more things that I've missed, but I won't know for sure until the actual details regarding the monkey paw are released. If I missed anything or got something wrong, feel free to leave a comment, and like and subscribe while you're at it. It's a good way to show your support so that I know that videos like this one are actually enjoyable to you guys. This video wouldn't be possible without the help of my friends Alex and Owen, so be sure to check out their channels too. Anyways, that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Am I dying? Who the fuck revived me?